I know that we're live right now. You all see me. You all saw that I was typing. But good evening. Good evening to everyone. Good night. How are you? We are here for the Project 5000 campaign, and we're just trying to get a few things in order. And so welcome. If you would love to share this video before, your guests, your tribe, your audience, feel free to do that. We can also share within our special tribes as well, our groups, that we are officially live. This is an interview that we do every Monday now, a part of the Project 5000 campaign. So I'm super excited. Look at hubby just in there. Hey, Mr. Minto, how you doing? Good evening, good evening. Hello, Karen Gilliam, hello. All right, everybody, good evening. We are about to dive into some amazing content. We have a super duper amazing speaker who is going to be on here tonight that's just going to be enlightening you on some great information. But I want to give you, just kind of set the backdrop about what it is that we're going to be sharing information on. Many of you have probably known that we've initiated, we've started, we've launched this amazing campaign, Project 5000, and where myself and amazing other leaders are coming together. We're equipping 5,000 leaders with the roadmap to their very first $1 million. Okay, very first $1 million. There's a wealth roadmap. Yes, it actually exists. It's a roadmap. Now, I'm going to share some more information along the way, but I'm going to be definitely bringing someone on board that's going to share her experience about how she's plugged into this amazing campaign, what really inspired her to get plugged in as well. So right now, everyone, at this particular time, as you're liking the watch parties, the streams, as you're commenting below, and also as you're sharing this, go ahead and share this onto your timelines and with your networks. Go ahead and do that. So I'm going to be bringing onto the platform what I consider to be someone who is a go-getter, someone whom you cannot challenge, because she will totally crush the challenge, and there really will be no challenge at all. So none other than Miss Alisha Minto. So everyone, of course, just, she's here for you. She's here to really elaborate on this campaign as well. So Alisha, go ahead, just take it away.
Well, thank you so much, Lakeisha McKnight. I appreciate you. Let me first just start off by thanking you for your leadership within our smaller group. And I also want to thank my sponsor, Althea Weber Bates, for reaching out to me so that I could plug into something that is changing my life and will change my life in my kids' lives, in my grandchildren's lives, and so on and so forth. So thank you so much, Althea. So who am I? I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I have 4 biological children and 2 by marriage. We have a beautifully blended family. I'm in Connecticut with my husband and our kids. And I have worked in the corporate industry for 16 years in the workforce development industry. So I was helping job seekers find jobs, go back to school, helping employers find quality candidates for their positions that they had, and some other things. And I did really well. I advanced through the ranks fairly quickly, managed multi-million-dollar contracts in the South for a few years, and came back up here, back to my home state of Connecticut. So in 2017, something greater than myself came over me and said, why don't you think about stepping out a little bit, exploring your own business? So I've always loved to organize. I've always loved to put things in place and have order to things. So I said, well, why not do it? Why not get paid to do it? So I started to do the research within the state of Connecticut, what I needed to do to, form my business and so on and so forth. So I was working on that January 2017. Come June 2017, we learned that budgets were getting cut and that there would be some layoffs happening. And so I literally had a week notice of my layoff. And the day of the layoff, they actually rescinded the resignation, the layoff letters. So they took them back and said, oh, well, everything's back to normal. You can come back to work on Monday. And little did they know, within that week, my spirit completely transformed from an employee mindset to an entrepreneur mindset. I don't know what it was within that week. It was like I was forced out of my comfort zone because I was being forced. And in that week, I said, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. July 1st, I'm going to hit the ground running as an entrepreneur full time, because I had no other choice at that time. So they rescinded, but I resigned. And July 1st, I had work. It was word of mouth. It was people trusting me, trusting what I said I could do. And things just went extraordinarily well. So well that I can't give the praise to anybody else but God. I can't. There's no other way that could have happened, when it happened, and how it happened. Through that process, my husband was very supportive and knew that we would become a one income household, and has just stuck through that process with me. So things were looking good. I was like, okay, the flexibility is a little there now, and I'm able to see the kids off to school, and I'm just I'm getting work. People are calling me to do things, so that was great. And then I dabbled into some crafting, and then that took off. And it to me at that point, it was like I took the step, and the path was just ordered from there. Like all I had to do was continue to move forward. So everything is good. Everything's doing really good. And then at the end of 2018, Althea, she reached out to me and said, hey, check this out, look at this, and tell me what you think, sign up, kind of just look at it, right? So I'm looking at it, don't have a clue what I'm looking at, had no clue, but I trusted Althea, and I knew that things that she touched she took her time before she touches something. She takes her time. She doesn't jump into everything. And I know that she mentioned that she had watched you, Lakeisha, for a year before she even moved forward with this opportunity. So when she told me that, I was like, okay. So I did what she asked me to do. And then I said, okay. And I started to listen in and get more information. I really started to educate myself on what exactly this opportunity was. And when I learned that leaving a 9-to-5, right, and creating a business, there still wasn't that level of fulfillment. I knew that in order for me to make money, I had to be somewhere. I had to be physically doing something, creatively doing something. I knew that I had to exchange me for money still, whether I was at a desk in a cubicle or in an office, or upstairs in my office crafting, or at somebody's home organizing. I knew that there was still there needed to be another level. And I didn't understand, the quadrants, right? I didn't understand that piece. So as I was educated within this Project 5000, this system, it just turned on a whole nother level of thinking. And I have to definitely go back and say that when I started focusing on my health and sacrifice some things, right? And started to see the results of my sacrifice, it made me go even harder. So I know that with my health, if I can change that around, I know I can definitely change my finances around with the right tools, with the right roadmap. And that is happening. That is definitely happening. So I have to say that things happen to you the way they should happen to you. I had to get myself physically and mentally prepared. I had to get away from a job in order to see this opportunity. I had to get myself in a place of sacrifice and a place of pulling away from certain things in order to be able to gravitate towards something greater than myself. So that's kind of how I really got started understanding, because I was open to it. My mind was open to it. So so yeah, that's basically where I came from, and where we are now, and excited for the business partners that I have that have come along the way and are making moves. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready to go to the moon.
You mentioned so much. I'm trying to figure out where should I start with what you said. Okay, so all right. So you were initially, of course, you're a self-employed professional.
Correct.
Organizing, of course, with your business, and you made this shift, of course, realizing that you had to really exchange hours for dollars.
Correct.
Still, even as a self-employed professional.
Even self-employed, right? Even doing something I love.
And that's key.
I love organizing. I love crafting, but it still occupied my time. There's no time freedom.
Wow.
One or the other, right?
Right. You can achieve financial freedom to a degree.
Right.
But you're still limited to your own efforts, right?
Right.
But that time freedom piece, how valuable was that to you? Achieving
extremely, extremely valuable. I want to be able to go when I need to go. I don't want to have to reschedule with somebody when if something comes up. I mean, it's great now. Don't get me wrong. It's great now. I can attend midday, things with the kids, or do a doctor's appointment somewhere. Like I had that flexibility to where before I was like, oh my gosh, they're not going to let me take this time off, or, oh my goodness, I didn't give a 2-week notice to get this time off, or, I mean, we've been there. We know what it is. And it is what it is. But when you're your own boss, you still have to ask yourself, I can't take this time off. I've got to work so that I can bring home this check, or so I can bring home, so you still have this same battle, whether it's for somebody else or for yourself.
That okay. I'm trying to figure out what to say next. Now, you mentioned something else. Yeah. You mentioned something else that was really important about shifting from working for somebody else to being your own boss, and like how that happened within a week. Like, what was going on during that week? Like, there must have been some amazing dynamics. Like, your thoughts probably were, tell us about your thought process. Tell us more about that during that week.
It was like somebody took my power, right? Because now you're saying that you're no longer going to give me payment for my time, right? So now you're taking something from me. And so with them taking that power, it was like, well, I've got to turn on some power. Like I've got to flip it around so that I can go.
She said, I got to turn on some power.
I got to turn on the power, my own power. I was using theirs, and now I have to turn on my own power. And so during that week, I was just, I of course was praying extra hard, because I knew that this was the last week. And I knew that I had to trust the process. There's a reason why this happened. There's a reason why in January, when I opened my prayer journal and I opened my it was like a book where you write down your goals and benchmarks and time frames and all that. Like I did all that in January, and I was working through it. I had completed my first quarter, and I was in April, May, and June, and things were moving along as they should have for July, August, and September. Like I was right on track, regardless of working this 9 to 5. And so, my mind was just like, okay, well, this is what you have to do. This is what's happening. Right. So you're not going to let it defeat you. You're going to have to conquer it, and really just zone in on being the best that you can be, looking up everything you can look up, research everything you can research, do comparisons. What are they charging for this? How do you go about building the website? Like all these things I'm trying to get done super quick. So it's really about what you allow in is what's going to come out. What you put in, what you feed inside of you is exactly what's going to produce. And it shows, through your actions and through your through your words and, you know, really through who you, what attracts, what
Right.
attracts back to you. So, you know, I had put in the work, and like I said, July 1, you know, I was in somebody's very large home in Windsor, and I was getting her stuff done. I was getting her stuff done, and she kept calling me back, and she kept calling me back. And then when she was done, somebody else called me. So things just happen. They just happen like that. So that was how the the mindset shifted, because I knew there was nothing else to do at that point.
Right.
There was nothing else to do at that point. Did I apply for a couple of jobs? Of course I did, because that self-doubt will come in. But I haven't worked another full-time 9-to-5 job since June 30th, 2017.
That is okay.
And you know what?
Yeah.
And listen, and at the end of the day, you know, my business is my business, but we were okay. We were doing better than surviving, but we weren't thriving.
Right.
You know, we were able to do what needed to be done, have a little extra, but we weren't living a life. We limited ourselves to having so much more, because you're just in this day-to-day kind of mundane, just factory worker type of thing.
Right.
So there was no other time to do much else.
So fast forwarding to learning about this amazing wealth roadmap that was shared to you. Of course, you said it was shared to you by a friend, Miss Althea Bates. And now share with me that dynamic about being introduced to the opportunity, introduced to the system. Share with me a little bit about what was going on there as far as your receptivity to it and the steps that you took, you know, when it was shared with you.
Okay. So, you know, being as specific as possible, when I looked at the information, it went completely over my head. Completely over my head. I never knew certain facts. I never knew, you know, about money. I didn't know where it came from. I didn't know, you know, who created the Federal Reserve. I didn't know how that started. I didn't understand when Nixon took us off of the gold standard in 71. I didn't understand any of that. I didn't understand how the dollar was depreciating. I didn't understand how gold is a safe store of value. I didn't understand any of that. So I was confused. And she said to me, you know, I'm going to plug you into a wealth mentorship group where you're going to have daily access to a wealth mentor who is going to help walk you through this process. She said, nothing is required of you. It is free for you to get this account, plug into it, start learning, start listening, and it'll come, right? Start showing people the same information I showed you. See who's interested. See who wants to make more money, or see who's interested in growing their wealth, and see who's interested in doing both. That's what I started to do. So as I was learning, I was also saving. And then as I started to get a little more comfortable, then I start to share. And of course, I put my blood right under me. So, you know, I've got my mama, my husband, and my 22-year-old right up under me, so that they will, you know, reap the benefits of what we're doing in this system. And then I started to just share, you know, have conversations with people after they've looked at the information. And, you know, if they saw it was for them, then they move forward.
That's good. Wow. Okay. So you said something, well, you said a whole lot of important, you know, information and mentioned it, but you were mentioning something about how when you first learned about the information, you didn't really quite understood it, but you knew that you were going to have the opportunity to learn.
Right.
And that is indeed a very important point, everyone. When you get plugged into something, it's very important that you try not to rush and believe that you're going to know everything or try to figure out everything all at one time, right? You're just not. Right. You know, we paid thousands of dollars in loans to enroll in universities, right? But we don't know a lot about anything, especially when you're going to university in a course, but you're willing to pay that money. But when you get plugged into a roadmap like this, a wealth building roadmap, absolutely free. And there's a wealth of information that you're not going to learn at the universities. Did you learn this in school?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I even took budgeting classes in school, but this never came up. No.
Wow. Now, why do you think that that's the case? Why is the case that you didn't learn anything about wealth building in college, but yet when you get around millionaires and multimillionaires, all of a sudden you have this information at your fingertips? Why do you think that is the case? What's going on with the educational system in your perspective as to why this wasn't you weren't exposed to this?
From my perspective, without sounding like a conspiracy theory, but it kind of is. You know, the government, let me back up. The system wasn't created for us to win. It was created, the educational system was created to make workers. That's just the bottom line. And yes, you can be a great worker and make great money, and that's great. But the money that you get is not going to bring you to the place you desire to be. If you have a true desire for great things, for limitless things, working a job is not going to do that. So I think the educational system drew a line in the sand and said, okay, the wealthy, we're going to let them know these things.
Right.
But the others, right? I'm not going to even say poor, because people are doing well, but they just still don't know what to do with their money, which keeps them in this cycle of debt, right? The more money they get, the more stuff they get. And then they don't have a place to really store their money and not spend it. So it just becomes a cycle of, I'm going to get it, I'm going to spend it. I'm going to get it, I'm going to spend it. I'm going to get it, I'm going to spend it. And never teach us the save part and how to properly save, not in a bank account. Bank account's not going to give you the wealth growth factor at all.
I was going to ask that question. Why wouldn't you want to put your money or leave your money inside of a regular checking account or a savings account? I mean, you gotta have a check.
You gotta pay bills, right?
You gotta pay your bills, you know.
Right. We know cash is king, right? We still use cash as a medium of exchange, but that's all that it is. So I wouldn't save money in a bank account, because you don't get the return on it, because it's not even your money. If you put it in there, the banks are loaning it out to somebody else, and they're going to give you, you know, the rigmarole to get your money out. Banks shut down and they close, and then you're stuck till 9 o'clock without your money. And, you know, there's certain things, again, once you plug into the system, that you will learn, because I don't want to sound like conspiracy theory, but there's facts, you know, and some people, you know, plug into the facts and some people don't, but the facts are the facts. So you definitely want to save your money where it can appreciate and not lose its purchasing power.
So you mean to tell me, so with the roadmap, you mean to tell me you didn't have to pay for anything?
I didn't have to pay a dime. I didn't have to pay a dime. I literally put my first name, my last name, my email address, my address, date of birth, because you have to be over 18.
Right.
And I picked a username and a password. That's it. No social security number, no credit card on file.
Wait a minute.
None of that.
They didn't do a background check?
No.
So you mean to tell me somebody could have a second chance?
They could have a third, fourth, and a fifth chance.
Wow.
Absolutely. Any walks of life, from no high school diploma to, we have doctors that are utilizing the system and lawyers.
Wow.
So yes, anyone.
So you get in and you're pretty much the whole gist. Are you buying gold, or are you doing an exchange? What's
no. Simple exchange. We are taking fiat currency, which is just our green money, right? Our rectangular notes.
All right.
And we're exchanging them for 999.9 bullion 24 karat gold. Very simple.
So here is the simple demonstration of what actually can happen, everybody. I'm about to do a demonstration for you. Okay, so she was talking about this stuff here, right? Okay, I'm just, I'm trying to be as concrete and almost exact as possible. So you take this $5, right? Now, keep in mind that this is actually a little less than $5. But you take this $5 bill and you simply exchange it for gold. Now, this is what you call cash gold, by the way. So I'm trying to bring it as close as possible. So this is 1/10 of a gram, as you can see, and it has, move it up there, it's a little better. It has the, yeah, everything is blinging out right now, even the nails. Sorry. Okay, so you have the 24 karat, right? And that's 24 karat 999.9 pure bullion gold embedded in the middle of this cash gold. Now it is paper, right? But this paper got more value than this. Now I'm not going to tell you what.
I bet you that whole thing won't burn.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes. Now this here can be taxed. This cannot. Okay, I know. Why does it seem like I'm extra dark? I look like a little M&M. Sorry, everybody. That's a little. Okay, all right. Sidebar. What's going on? Okay, so anyway, I'm just gonna press on through this. $5, and then you have, of course, your 1/10 of a gram of cash gold. Now, that's just one of the formats that we have. We do also have. Now, if you were to let me back up. Don't want to jump ahead, but you can get. This is what we call. Okay, I'm gonna get it out. I'm gonna get it out one day. This is what we call classic gold. So you can actually build wealth for the long term with this. So this is the way that the front of the card looks, okay? A gram, right? 24 karat gold still. So if you turn it around, it has a certificate. Like it has its own, oh my gosh, the own serial number, everything is
LBA
unique
certified.
about this card.
That's
I mean, everything is you. Let me bring it closer. Y'all gotta see it. Okay. So you can take this to a pawn shop. And there's actually one of our colleagues that did it, who's actually plugged into this as well. Took it to a pawn shop and they were just like, where did you get it from? Like they were willing to give him whatever was necessary to get the gold that he had in his hand. So this is 24 karat, this is real physical gold. This is the same gold that countries use to settle their debts with, everybody. Same gold. And here's another fact that you all need to know about. There are approximately right now 16 states that accepts gold as legal tender, meaning that you can exchange the gold for goods and services. Yeah. I know some people are just like, oh my gosh, that's the same exact reaction I had when I found out about it. I said, what? I didn't know all of this. And it's super biblical too, for all of our Bible scholars out there. The Bible talks about gold. I mean, you're going to be walking down some streets.
Hey,
come on, somebody. I can't wait. And one thing about, see, you guys will get me started. I'm about to get started. Trying to hold it together. Okay. No, I'm gonna hold it together. All right. So anyway, the whole point of the matter is, everyone, it's important that you get plugged into this system. You can build generational wealth for you and your family. Now, I know there are many other things that people do, many other type of side gigs, hustles. Now, notice your terminology. Side gigs, side hustle. Mm-hmm. Another word for saying a job that you created. Right. Okay, it's a job that you've created. If you have to be in the business instead of working on the business, it's a job. Now, don't get me wrong. When you're plugging into network marketing and you're getting into this space, you're building an organization, you're putting in effort at the very beginning, but you will reap a harvest continually off of that effort that you put in at the very beginning, right? And so think about it in terms of you going to the university. Okay, and this is a tough example. Here we go. You ready? You went to the university, you borrowed all this money, and you take all these classes, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I'm gonna reap a harvest. You get out of school. This is my situation. and you don't find a job. There's no job.
They
There's
come to
no
me.
job.
They come to
Okay.
me.
Okay. Yeah. And here's the thing. I graduated not with one degree. Two.
Yep.
Now, no offense to the school that I went to. You know, I'm not even going to go into all, but the point of the matter is that you graduate to only get a job, to work pretty much your entire life to try to pay off a loan. Where are you going to have time to enjoy that education that you went to school for? You have to pay back all those loans. You have to work so hard to pay the loans back.
Right.
So when are you going to have time to truly, truly enjoy it? And then you have to find another job and then another job, because no job is stable, no job is permanent. It doesn't belong to you. It belongs to someone else, and they can take it and give it to someone else
at any time.
So yes, use the job to fund your dream, right? But use it as a stepping stone to get to where it is that you're trying to go, with establishing financial and time freedom. What else would you like to share with the people tonight, Miss Minto?
Let's see. So just a couple of things. I know that I mentioned earlier, you know, with my health journey, my weight loss journey, whatever you want to call it. I just started doing it because I knew I needed to do it for me, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Same thing with Karat International. I started because I knew I needed to do something different. I knew I needed to improve the state of my finances. Just like with my health, I needed to improve the state of my health.
Right.
And through my health journey, many people, and this is not a brag or a toot or anything, but many people have it has influenced many people because they've told me and they've shared the things that they've been able to accomplish, and thank me for doing what I've been doing and posting how I post on Instagram and things like that.
If y'all not following her on Instagram, make sure y'all follow her on Instagram. Yeah, it's very inspirational. Go ahead. I know.
So you know, so doing that was like, okay, you know, I'm doing this for me, but clearly it is helping other people, right? So I say to people, especially if you know me, you know me. I'm very trustworthy and down to earth, and will give it to you as raw as possible. You need to get this done. You need to not hesitate. You need to not overthink it. You need to get off the fence. If I've presented this to you, if I've introduced you to this, I'm telling you, this, I do not want to be on the white sandy beaches by myself. I don't. I'm not going to move in silence on this. Yes. People are like, you know, do what you're doing in silence, like, you know, move in silence. And I can't. There's something so much bigger than me with this entire organization that everybody needs to know. Everybody needs to know. So I'm going to end it with this.
Okay.
Because you talked about the streets, right? Paid. So simply, Dr. Harold Seiss, who is our visionary and founder, he wrote the vision. Right. And in my opinion, our WBW family, Mr. Ty Best, has made it plain. So we've got the vision. It's been written, and now it's made plain for us to just follow the path.
Oh, see.
Follow the path. You don't have to complicate this thing. You don't have to make it so hard to understand. Your money is leaving you, and we've got a way for you to keep it. And there's a way for you to get paid, for you to keep your own money, and then share it with your mama, your cousin, your uncle, your brother, your neighbor, your friend in India, so that they can do the same thing, and everybody wins. Everybody wins. Wow. And somebody who comes in that I bring in, they can make a whole lot more than me. So there is no cap to this thing. You can come in and you can soar. The sky is the limit for this opportunity. This digital money, this is where we're going. Who's accepting it? Whole Foods, Amazon.
Yes.
I mean, we've got major players in the digital money arena, and
AT&T.
If you're not on this train,
Woo!
So,
and we didn't even touch on the digital stuff.
This is what I can't even do it, because once we start there, I'm gonna have to let them know what's backing this digital stuff. And it's too much. It's too much.
Listen. I sound like that little boy. Listen, Linda. Okay.
Listen, Linda.
So
yeah. I mean, do we get paid in Karat bars, right? Oh. Is that the question?
Yes. MasterCard, yes.
Not connected to debt. Not a credit card.
Wow.
And I can pull money out of any ATM that I want. And I can use it in the store if I want. That's like it.
This is good. This is good, guys. Look, I know we didn't touch on everything, but the main thing, we're keeping the main thing tonight. And that is, you need a vehicle that's going to help you to make money while you sleep. Warren Buffett, billionaire, philosopher, like he's just an amazing guy. He says this: if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you will work until you die. Here's a question that I ask everybody every time I have this interview. Let me get a little closer. Okay, it might be a little too close. I don't want you in my nostrils. So last night, did you make money while you slept? Past tense.
Absolutely. You
have to come to realization, like if you didn't last night, like just last night, you need to learn. Do what the wealthy are doing.
Every day.
They spend this, right? And they build wealth with this. Yes. That's what they're building wealth with. They get gold. They get gold. Okay? This is paramount. There are countries no longer using the dollar as money. There are things happening that you may not be aware of. And so we're just encouraging, we're informing you, number one. We're encouraging you based on our journey, right? That you need a big enough wealth vehicle that's going to help you to accomplish your dreams. Some of you have big dreams out there to accomplish so much.
Yes.
But really delving into these side hustles that gives you a few $100s, trust me, I know, I've been there. Where you just get a couple $100s, it's not going to accomplish that dream that you have. And so you need something bigger. We're talking about millions of dollars on the table right now that you have the potential to bring in and make. And look, it's optional as to whether you want to build a network or not. It's a simple decision. You're going to probably eventually want to build a network, okay? Because with a network, you have passive bills. You get bills every month, right? So you want to learn how to take care of those passive bills with some passive money. Okay, so, just wanted to throw that in there. But you really have to come to realization, like be real with yourself, your situation right now. Is what you have enough? Is it going to help you to accomplish your dreams and your goals? There's no harm. I know you might be saying, well, I gotta go do some more research. Let me just share something. FedEx delivers our packages, our gold to us. They have a location in the Karat Bars facility in Germany. How much more research are you going to do more than FedEx? How much more research are you going to do more than MasterCard? How much more research are you going to do more than Sony, who partnered up with Karat Bars to create the first voice over blockchain cell phone, which we didn't even touch on tonight, which is going to be delivered in September, which will give us unlimited storage, completely unhackable. Just complete privacy. Like,
don't start.
Okay, all right.
Don't start.
You know I was going to keep. I want to so bad. Listen, I'm just super excited about what we have. I really am. And you can learn about this. I will become your wealth mentor. Look, Alisha will be your wealth mentor. Let me tell you something, okay? She will tell you that she probably wasn't doing all this when she first got started.
Absolutely.
And now, like I can see, of course, I know I'm not physically there, but I can see the change, the growth to the point where my cousin and I, we jokingly say, when we get on the platform and we look at our cell phone, at some point we wake up and we say, wait a minute, did Alisha just start everything up again today? Like, what is she just doing? We jokingly joke about this all the time. We said she is just taking, she's just doing what she need to do.
I got something to say.
Yeah. So we talk about, those things that we see, the leaders that are rising up. And let me tell you, you will be in good hands, everybody. For those of you who are plugged in by way of Alisha and her network, if you're learning about this for the first time, if she shared this with you, get back with her. If someone is hosting a watch party right now, and they're sharing this on their timeline, and you're like, man, are you plugged into the roadmap? You might want to get with them and ask them the question. Yes. We have like an amazing group of leaders a part of this campaign, Project 5000, Winner's Circle, thebomb.com. And so, you want to make sure you plug in. And let me just mention something else. I mean, there's a tag team duo going on too. Like she has her mom involved, right? So if you see her, they may look like twins. So So Pastor Val, if you're watching this, amazing. And so again, hubby, Mr. Minto, thank you so much for being on board as well. I mean, it's just, we're just doing this as families. Yeah. We're doing this. We're building generational wealth. We all can do it. We all can win together. We all can support one another to achieving goals. So, I'm going to ramble on and on and on as a speaker. I'm going to stop right where the getting is good, right here.
There you go.
So, any last words that you want to encourage those who are watching tonight? Anything that you would love to share with them before we exit, Alisha?
Just that change is on the horizon. Change is coming very soon. And being tunnel vision, having tunnel vision, you're going to miss out on an opportunity to get on this wave of where change is going. Right. So Lynette Zhang, I watch like all of her YouTube stuff. And she said this, she said, when change comes, winners learn the new rules and how to take advantage of them. Woo. So at the end of the day, change is coming. Winners adapt, winners learn. The other ones don't. And then they're not the winners. So I would just encourage everyone, if you got to look a little longer, but your hesitation is costing you and your family. So that's all I have. Lakeisha, thank you for the platform.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate it so much.
You're welcome. All right, everybody. So thank you so much for watching. We'll be back hopefully with our next interview on next Monday. It's going to be amazing again. You don't want to miss it. It's going to help increase your value.
Absolutely.
Help you to grow. So again, thank you so much, everyone. Be blessed, and we'll be speaking with you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Stop.